Good morning. It's early at Granny's house this morning, and I thought I'd start out today with a story about the Little Red Hen. Now, the Little Red Hen was a really big deal when I was a kid, so just saying. The Little Red Hen lived in a barnyard out on a farm in the middle of wherever. She spent almost all of her time walking around the barnyard in her pickety peckety fashion, scratching everywhere for worms. Now, if you've ever met a little red hen, worms are a big deal. Worms are everywhere, and worms, fat little grubby worms, are their favorite food in the whole wide world. She dearly loved fat, delicious worms and felt they were an absolute necessity to the health of she and her children. Often she found a worm. She would call cluck, 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 cluck to her chickies, and her chickies would come running and they would eat the worm and they would have a wonderful breakfast. When they were gathered about her, she would distribute choice morsels of the worm tidbits to her chickies. Busy little body, Little Red Hen was. Always on the move, always on the go, always busy. A cat usually napped over by the barn door, not even bothering herself to scare the rat who ran here and there wherever he pleased. Cats are supposed to like to chase mice and rats, and this cat was just so lazy he didn't even like to do that. As for the pig, who lived over in the pigsty, he did not care what happened as long as he could eat and grow fat. One day, Little Red Hen found a seed. Little seed laying on the ground. Wasn't sure what it was, but she found a seed. It was a wheat seed. But the Little Red Hen was so accustomed to bugs and worms that she really didn't know what a wheat seed was. She supposed this was something new and perhaps a delicious kind of meat. She bit it gently and found that it resembled a worm in no earthly fashion whatsoever. And as for the taste, because it was long and slender, maybe it's a worm? No, it wasn't a worm. The Little Red Hen might easily be fooled by its appearance. Things look weird, and when you see weird looking things, sometimes you don't know what you're supposed to do with them, and you have to find out. Carrying it about, she wandered all over the the farmyard trying to find out what this little tiny piece of whatever was. And she made inquiries what it might be. She found out eventually that it was a wheat seed, and that if you planted this tiny wheat seed, it would grow, and it would grow up and turn into ripe wheat, which at that point, when you harvest the wheat, you can grind it up into flour and make bread. When she discovered that that's what this was, and that that's what you could do with it, she decided she was going to talk to Pig and talk to Cat and see what they thought. Because, Little Red Hen was so busy already wandering around the farmyard looking for this and that, and nummy bits and yummy bits and worms for her children, that she thought maybe that, maybe Cat and Pig would help her. Who will help me plant the seed? Little Red Hen asked. But Pig looked at her from his muddy pigsty and said, "Not I." And the cat looked up and stretched and said, "Not I." and the busy little rat that was running all over the place, running on top of the cat's head because the cat didn't care. The rat said, "Not I." "Well then," said the little red hen, even though she was very, very busy, "I will." And she did. And then she went on with her day. Went on with her daily duties, looking up at the sky. Oh, look how pretty and blue the sky is today. And eating her worms and hiding under things when it started to rain real hard, and making sure her little baby chickies were okay and fed and taken care of. She went on like this through the long hot summer, through the days of warm sunshine and rain and clouds and the whole summertime. She just saw the wheat. It was laying over there. It started to grow a little bit. And she that's really cool. I'm really glad my wheat is starting to grow. Through the summer, she went on scratching for worms and feeding her chicks. Over in the pigsty, the pig grew fat. Over in the barn door, the cat grew more and more lazy and scampering around through all of it. Mr. Rat was growing bigger and having more fun as he ran around. One day, the little red hen looked how large the wheat was. She noticed that the grain was looking kind of, tan and ripe. And she decided that she needed to harvest this wheat that she was growing. And she went over to the pig and the cat and the rat and said, "My wheat's starting to look really big. Who will help me harvest this wheat?" "Not I," said the pig. "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the rat. "Well then," said the little red hen, "I guess I will." So she penciled in a little bit of time during her day, and she went and harvested the wheat. She went to the farmer's shed. She got a sickle. A sickle is a big stick with a blade on it. That once upon a time, this is how people used to harvest wheat. And she got the sickle out of the farmer's shed and she whacked off the wheat. Fell down onto the ground. As her summer went on, she was going out on the internet and looking at what exactly do you do with this stuff when it's done, So she knew that she had to do something called thresh the wheat, which threshing the wheat is knocking the husks off the outside of the wheat and getting to the little tiny seeds, like what she found on the ground, the little tiny seeds that are inside, and you get all of the chaff, which is the shells of the wheat seeds. You knock all of the chaff off, and that's called threshing. So so she looked on the ground and saw that it was there, and her chicks were going, "Hey mom, beep, 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 beep," in their most vigorous, happy fashion, proclaiming the world that this was really cool, but mom was technically neglecting them, because sometimes when moms have things to do and kids think that it would be a really good time to be doing stuff, there's that. So the mom looked at her kids and went, "Oh, I feel so bad. I need to get this threshing done. But my kids need my attention." So she said, "Hey, pig, cat, rat, hey guys, will you guys help me thresh the wheat? Who will help me thresh this wheat?" And the pig looked up, went, "Not I," said the pig. cat was lazily snoozing in the sunshine. Not I, said the cat. The rat was running around doing little rat things, saying, not I, said the rat, not I, not I. So, Little Red Hen looked around and went, well, you know what? It's not going to thresh itself. I guess I will. So she did. Of course, she had to feed her babies first, and then she'd gotten them all fed and to sleep for their afternoon nap, when she would usually be sitting down for a nice cup of worm juice. She had to go out and thresh. So, she went outside and threshed the wheat. She had a little bag of wheat. When she was all done, she gathered it all up, put it in a bag. She had this bag of wheat that now was wheat seeds, and she wanted to make bread out of it. But, wheat seeds, you can't make bread out of wheat seeds. You gotta grind it all up and make real fine flour out of it. Because, she didn't have a grocery store. She was, a chicken. I'm really tired. After all of this normal chicken work and all of this normal threshing work and gathering up this wheat and putting it in this bag, but I gotta get it to the mill. So she looked around and said, well, maybe. They didn't help with the other stuff, but maybe. Guys, I'm kind of busy, and, you guys are just kind of being around, not doing a whole lot, and could you guys help me maybe take this little bag? It's not very heavy. Could you guys, help me run it down to the mill so the miller can grind it into flour? And the pig looked up and went, not I, said the pig. And the cat stretched and yawned and looked at the sunshine and said, you know what? Nah, not I, said the cat. And the rat, of course, doing the little ratty things that he was doing, said, not I, said the rat. So I guess I will. And she tied the sack of wheat onto her back and kind of trudged down to the mill down the road. And she ordered, dude, I need this made into flour, Mr. Miller, sir. Could you maybe grind it into flour for me? And the miller said, well, of course, little Miss Red Hen, I can do that for you. So she sat there and waited while the miller ground it into wheat. She put she ground the wheat into flour. When he was done, she paid him, and PayPal and all that. It just typed it into her little cell phone and sent it off to him. She strapped the bag of flour to her back and carried it off back down the road to the farm. Oh, she was so tired. She was so tired by the time she got home. But by that time, it was time to feed the chickens again. Time to feed her babies, time to get them up and around and find the worms, find the bugs. Really hoped for a really big, really big juicy worm, because by this time she was also real hungry. So once she got back, she caught a couple of juicy worms. First she fed her babies, because that's what moms do. And then she still had some worm left, and she ate her dinner. She had this sack of wheat sitting there, a sack of flour. And her tummy was mostly full, and her kids were so stuffed. And by this time it was pretty much bedtime. So baby chickens waddled off into the little nests, and they went to sleep. Finally it was the end of the day. Even though she was kind of sleepy by this time, She really wanted to see what this bread stuff was all about that people were talking about. And she thought, well, maybe they'd slept all day. The pig in the sty. The rat hadn't slept all day. He was doing more rat things. But the pig in the sty and the cat in the barn, maybe they would help. So she said, Guys, hey guys, can you guys help me just a little bit make this flour into bread? It won't take long. It won't take long. Just come on, help me make this bread. Oh, it's been such a long day, said the pig. I'm going to sleep. And not I, said the pig. The cat. Oh, my days have been so long. I'm so tired. Laying in the sunshine makes me so tired. So, no, not I, said the cat. And the rat, by this time it was kind of late in the day, he decided that he was kind of tired of doing little rat things. So, oh, yeah. So, no, not I, said the rat. So, the red hen stayed up way past bedtime, waddled her little higgledy-piggledy way, and decided that she was going to make this bread into flour. Or make this flour into bread. Sorry, it kind of goes the other way, huh? So she did. She stayed up, mixed all the ingredients, found a really nice recipe on the internet. The bread didn't look real difficult, didn't have a whole lot of extra ingredients in it, so she made this flour into bread. And she got it in the oven, started baking it. Oh, it's gonna take, okay. Well, let's see what happens when we start baking this stuff. And lo and behold, I don't know if you've ever smelled homemade bread, but homemade bread smells so incredible. And it doesn't stay in the oven. The smell doesn't stay in the oven. The smell goes everywhere. And as she was baking this bread, the sun was starting to come up, and the pig was starting to wake up, the cat was starting to wake up, and the rat had been up looking, all over the place for little rat things to do. And the pig went, oh, what is that heavenly smell? Hey, cat, what is that heavenly smell? I don't know what it is, what is it? The cat went, oh, I don't know, but it's delightful. And he looked at the rat and he said, hey, rat, do you know what that heavenly smell is? The cat said, not I. Said the rat, I don't know what it is. Little Red Hen came waddling out from her kitchen, carrying this wonderful loaf of still warm, still really good smelling bread. She sat it on the rock in the middle of the barnyard, and she said, well, look at this. I have the most amazing loaf of bread. Now that I have this delightful loaf of bread, who will help me eat this bread? And the smell was amazing. And so the pig went, Little Red Hen, I'll help you eat the bread, Little Red Hen. And the cat went, ooh, you know what, I'm feeling kind of peckish myself. I will help you eat your bread, Little Red Hen. And the rat was, totally ratty wonderful. And he was like, oh my goodness gracious, I'm gonna get bread and It's fresh bread. It's not this nasty, scrappy stuff that ends up in the barnyard. And so the rat said, "Oh, Little Red Hen, I will help you eat your bread, Little Red Hen." And the Little Red Hen looked at the pig, looked at the cat, looked down at the little rat, and said, "You know what? When I needed help, no one was around to help me. No one was there to help me. No one was there to do anything when there was work to be done. But now that there's the end product, the wonderful treat at the end of the day, now you guys think that you ought to be able to take part in my bread." And Little Red Hen said, "You know what? Nope. My chickies and I are going to sit down right here on this nice stone in the middle of the sunshiny morning, and we're going to eat our bread for breakfast." That is exactly what she did. She and her chickies ate bread while the pig sat and pouted in his pen. The cat sat and sulked over in the barn door. And the rat went and cried in the corner of the barn because they all thought that they ought to be able to take part in it. And the Little Red Hen, she wasn't having none of it. She and her chickies had the best breakfast that morning that they'd ever had. And she decided that, bread isn't so bad. She still really liked the worms. Don't get me wrong. The worms and bugs were still her favorite. But at the end of the day, trying new things meant that she learned that she actually also liked just a little bit of bread with her worms and bugs. And that, my dears, is the story of the Little Red Hen. May you have a magical day. Enjoy your world.